Yeah. Hey guys, I'm so glad you're here tonight. I'm really excited for all of our new golds that get to be on this very first leaders meeting. This is a huge deal because it really is the hardest place to get. Like this, it is so hard to rank gold, and so many of us end up doing it all by our lonesomes, with just on our own, and that is a huge accomplishment for you guys, and I'm so glad you are here tonight. We're going to go over some specific steps in leadership that will help you not only lead your team to success, but also reflect success yourself. So I hope you have something to write with and you're jotting down a few notes, because I think we've got some really great stuff set for you tonight. And we are going to start with our Emerald. Autumn, go ahead.
Woohoo! Sitting in the Plexus Lexus. All right, guys. I am talking about a leader having total and professional knowledge of network marketing. So, you want to be an expert. You want to know what you're doing, obviously. And you want your teams to know what they're doing. So I'm going to go over 5 things. I'm assuming you guys can all hear me okay. First thing, know your approach with your potentials. Second thing, product knowledge. Third thing, the ins and outs of this business. Fourth thing, training your teams. Fifth thing, have an endless network. So knowing your approach with potentials. Guys, we're talking about verbiage. Okay, Erin just did a training on this. Go pro, rock your network marketing business. Learn your verbiage. That is such a huge part of your reaching out to potentials. And if you are starting off with the wrong verbiage, what do they say? Like in the first couple words out of your mouth, the person that you're talking to decides if they like what they're hearing and if they're going to continue this conversation with you or whatever you're trying to share with them. So really, really be mindful of your verbiage, how to interact with potentials, how to love on people. You're going to want to really focus on your approach and then your elevator speech. So some of you might not know what this is, but an elevator speech is your 10 to 20 second story that gets to the point, that's quick and efficient, that talks about our products and what they have done for you, our business and what it's done for you or how it's changed your life. So get that down pat. So when you are out and about, in public, or, a friend asks you about the products or what it's done for you, have that ready to go so you look professional and you know what you're talking about. Second thing, product knowledge. This is huge, okay? This is like, half of our business is our products, because our products work. And so you're going to want to know what they do, obviously, okay, what they do and how they can help people. So I'm not saying go and be this crazy health expert, but, people look at Plexus just from an outside from an outside glance at Plexus. Plexus does not look so much like a health system. But if you know enough to explain the health benefits of these products and the basics of what they do and how they can help people, then I personally have seen so many people take a second look and really understand why they should try these products. So make sure that you can do your own research, obviously online. There is a product training coming up, I think later this month, that I am doing. And so, really tune into those things so you can start to know these products and share just beyond your own personal experience. A lot of, our sharing on products is, sharing what Plexus has done for us. But the more knowledgeable you can be about the product that you're sharing, the better. Number 3, the ins and outs of this business. You want to be a pro at our compensation plan. If you don't know it, get to know it. You have to know how to make money in your own business, and then you want to be able to share and teach your team that. So make sure if you've just hit gold and you don't know that compensation plan, it's time, because you are now a leader. You have a growing and thriving team. It is time to know that. I also encourage you to know how our company is different. So Plexus is not at all like any other network marketing company. I am so lucky because I was so close to signing up with another company, and I briefly looked at, the compensation plan and, looked at a whole bunch of things, but I am so glad I did not go to another company. And now I have a passion to learn why and how Plexus is different. We are so different. To give you an idea, I would not be Emerald, like let's say another company had the same ranks as us. I would not be Emerald in any other company, but because I'm in Plexus and because of their business plan, their compensation plan, the way you rank and make money, anybody can do this here in Plexus. I cannot say other people can do it in other network marketing companies. I am so passionate about our setup here that our CEOs have given us. It is so different. So I encourage you to learn. And if you have more questions, come to me, because I have learned so much about, how Plexus is different. So when people come to me and they poo-poo network marketing, they say, oh yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. I say, no, you don't understand. This company is different, and it's different. And so you need to be able to know how and why it's different and be able to back that up. I feel like I should do a training on that, just because it's like such a new, exciting passion. And then for the business, make sure that you are not solely depending upon your upline, but that you are seeking out training and self-development for yourself. So, there's multiple ways to do that. But at minimum, we have thousands of YouTube videos of leaders in this company providing trainings and things like that. So make sure that you are investing in that aspect of the business and being a pro at that. Number 4, train, inspire, and believe in your team. It's huge. You cannot go anywhere in this business. Network marketing is, yes, about recruiting people, but if you don't pour into those people and if you don't know how to lead and train them, then you're not going anywhere. So you have got to, or you could go somewhere for a while, but it's not going to take you very far because, you're not pouring into them. They need to learn. They need to be taught. They need to be encouraged. They need to have someone believe in them. Some people are lacking such belief that they just give up way too early. Are you loving on your team? Teach them duplication. This business is all doing the same thing. So come and join us and do that, and encourage your team to follow you.
Is she frozen to anybody else?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, I bet it was such a good point, too.
It always happens at that point. Okay. Let's come back. I don't.
No, she's still frozen.
Okay, I think she's gone. Oh, no, there she is. Autumn, what was your last point?
Nope.
No.
She gone.
Oh, wait, she's talking. Autumn,
You're muted now, Autumn.
I unmuted you. Go ahead.
I'm not muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I was talking about having an endless network. So there are so many ways to share your Plexus business. Get creative. You know more people than you think you do. I am still adding people to my friends list because why? I'm remembering people at past jobs. I'm specifically going to look for them. I had a job at Glen Ivy Hot Springs years ago when I was first married, like 11 years ago. And I realized I don't have those people on Facebook. Like, I need to go find those people. For one, it would be fun to rekindle that relationship and get connected. But also, I'm like, I can see those people doing Plexus with me, and they're gonna do Plexus with me. And so what did I do? I went and found them, I friended them, and guess what? 3 of them are now on my team, ambassadors. So you have to be intentional about all that. And lastly, get comfortable talking to strangers. You want to obviously hit up your warm market, and you're going to be able to do that for a really long time, as long as you're constantly thinking about people that have been in your life and old neighbors and church friends and all of that. But also step out of the box and get talking to strangers. We just got done reading The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. Our team had a book club, and that was the most amazing book ever. And he talks about fear and how fear is not real. Like, the only true fear that a human should have is dying. Everything else is a construed, made up fear in our minds based on past experiences. And so get over that. Get out and push through that. You're not going to die. And it is so, so worth, get it. This guy, Darren Harder, he talks about purposefully going out to fail and hitting his fear head on, purposefully going out to do that. So become that, whatever your fear is, go hit that head on, because everything else you're doing good and fine at. But where you need help is where you're fearful. So go tackle that. You're gonna die. You're gonna learn.
Yeah, I think I was waiting for Erin. Thank you, Autumn. I wrote down really boldly your point about have an endless network. I think that is so important, and so much good stuff there. We asked Autumn to talk about that subject because she really is the expert in our products. She is the expert in our network marketing, and I love her passion for this business. I have it too. So, okay, we want to hear from Stephanie. She has some great things to share with us, so I'll let you take it away, Stephanie.
Yes. All right. So of the 10, I didn't get to hear the first part of this call, but I'm assuming that everybody already explained that we're going over like top 10 leadership traits and that sort of thing. So the 2 that I picked to go over with you guys, which I'm going to keep it brief, was responsibility, taking 100% responsibility for yourself and for everything in your life, and then productivity. So I know, Kathy, I figured you'd like that. I jumped at taking productivity because I started doing a workshop with Darren Hardy and found out Kathy was doing the same one, and it's really, really good. So I've got a lot of good information. I'm going to try to cram it in. I'm going to boil it down, and I wanted to give you everything, but it would be a whole training in its own right. So responsibility. If you guys, and I get really excited and I talk loud, but I shouldn't be talking loud, so try to tone it down. If you guys watched the Jewel panel, the live Facebook Jewel panels things, I talked about responsibility in my piece. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and watch it, because it probably did more justice to it during that than I'm going to do right now, just because it's been a little crazy of a few days. But basically, responsibility is one of the most important traits that you can have as a leader. And taking responsibility for everything in your life, everything, 100% of everything. That comes down to what time you wake up in the morning, what time you choose to wake up, especially if you're working from home and you can wake up at whatever time of day you really want, or you have babies that keep you up all night. It's still your responsibility. You can choose to wake up when you're tired, and you can choose to work when you need to work, and you can choose to eat the food that you're supposed to be eating and not the crap that you shouldn't be, and so on and so forth, all the way down to like a ridiculous level of, if somebody does something to you, when you give up responsibility for anything that happens in your life, you give up the ability to change it. You give up the ability to make a difference. So you can make excuses or you can make a difference, but you can't do both. So I think about this when I talk to my kids a lot. If you guys have kids, especially if they're, school age, you'll hear a lot of times or if you have the joy of having more than one and they start fighting with each other, they always are quick to want to say, well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. So-and-so did this. It's not my fault. So-and-so did that. So I always stop my boys and I tell them, no, it is your fault. And you want it to be your fault, because if it's your fault, then you can do something to change it. You can do something differently next time. If you give up responsibility for anything in your life, then you lose the ability to change it, to make a difference the next time. But, and there's a big but here, but you have to take responsibility for everything, but you have to release control when it comes to being a leader, especially a leader of a team of people, because you can have control or you can have growth, but you cannot have both. You can have growth or you can have control, but you cannot have both, especially in plexus. If you are somebody who is taking everybody's information and signing them up for them instead of walking them through it and helping them do it themselves. If you are, going to the extreme of answering every single question, like Autumn touched on, you have to, it starts with you. You have to take the responsibility of learning yourself, going and seeking out the knowledge, and then you have to pass it along to your team. Yes, you could easily answer their question because you know the answer, but it'd be better to equip them with the ability to find the answer to their question rather than giving them the answer. That goes back to if you have kids. I only say this because I think everybody on this call probably has kids. If your second grader is sitting there doing math homework and they want to know what 3 + 4 is, which I don't know if that's second grade level, but they want to know what 3 + 4 is, you could easily say, well, it's 7, but that does them a disservice because then they don't have the skills to figure it out themselves. Now, I'm not saying that the people on your team are second graders, but we are helping develop people. That is your job as a leader, is to develop the person in front of you to be better than they were yesterday. So you can't just immediately give them the answer. You need to help guide them to it. And then release control. And that goes for everything. If you know that you could sign up their person better than they could, but if you always do it, then they're never going to learn. So you have to release that control and just let them do it and let them not be great and not be perfect, because you're probably not perfect either, but give them that chance to fail and then guide them through it. Productivity. I'm going to move on to productivity. So if you get nothing else from tonight's training on productivity, I want you to write this one down in big, bold, all caps letters. Turn off your notifications. Turn off your notifications. All of them, every single one of them. Did you guys know, if you're an iPhone user, did you know that you can swipe up from the bottom? I don't know if this is going to work. If you guys can see it, you can swipe up from the bottom and there's a little moon right here and it's called Do Not Disturb. Boop. You turn the moon on and nobody can get to you, but you can set it where you have favorites. So if your husband needs to be able to reach you, if your kids need to be able to reach you, you mark them as favorites in your contacts and they can text you and they can call you, but nobody else is going to be blowing up your phone. You need to turn off your notifications, because I'm going to give you 3 addictions that are ruining your productivity. Number 1 is the addiction of wanting to be wanted. This comes down to, we all get a little dose of the happy hormones in your brain when we post something on Facebook and the little red dot pops up because someone liked your post. And then someone commented and you post something and you go back 15 minutes later to see if anybody liked or commented. And you feel really good because it's the addiction to wanting to be wanted. You feel good and you're all smiling because you know it's true. And I do, and I'm speaking from, personal experience here. We all do it because it's biochemically doing something in your brain. You're getting a little squirt of happy juice when you get those likes and comments, because we're being fulfilled. We're feeling like we're wanted and we're needed and we're part of a group. So you really have to work on separating yourself from that. And there's a whole mindset shift here. And I talked about it a little bit if you caught my Facebook Live during the night of the presidential elections. But I talked about, Darren Hardy brought up this point, and it was really good, that, and it's even more applicable after all the discourse after this election, but the president of the United States, arguably one of the highest, positions of leadership in the world, has half of his own country that doesn't like him or adamantly hates him. So if you are making everybody around you happy, you're probably not making big changes. You're probably not disrupting the status quo. And that's cool if you just want to go through life staying the same, but I'm pretty sure all of you are on here because you're wanting to change things. You're wanting to change your own life. You wanting to change other people's lives and help them be better. So if everyone around you is happy and you're addicted to that feeling of being, people pleasing, that people are happy with you, then you're probably not doing the good work that you should be doing, fulfilling your full potential. Let me make sure I'm not passing up anything. Oh, I love this. You guys might have heard this before, but have you heard? So here's what you can think about when you think about well, is what I'm going to say going to bother this person in front of me or whatever? Are they going to be upset with me? You need to stop and ask yourself, will this person cry at my funeral? Will they even be at your funeral? Because statistically, the most determining factor of whether someone will even show up to your funeral, they might show up to the service beforehand, but they've done studies, and the biggest determining factor as to whether they will go to your gravesite and watch you lower into the ground or just skip that part and go to the party is the weather that day. So the average person has less than 10 people. 10 people or less will show up to will cry at their funeral. So if the person standing in front of you or the person on your Facebook is not somebody that's going to cry at your funeral, then you probably shouldn't care about what they think, as long as you are doing, what you are here to do, whether that's helping people or changing their lives. Okay, the number 2 addiction that is ruining your productivity is the addiction to novelty. What's new? What am I missing? That goes back to those notifications. So turn off your notifications. This addiction to novelty, again, it's biochemical. It's kind of hard to avoid it, or not to avoid it, but to control it. So that's why we need to avoid it by turning off the notifications, because you see that little red dot and it's really hard it's like having a fresh, hot baked cookie, chocolate chip cookie set down right in front of you, and you shouldn't eat it, but when it's just hot and right out of the oven, why would you put it in front of your face? Because you're going to break down eat it. So you're not tempted, because the addiction to novelty creates a constant or continual partial attention. So basically you never come to full attention, because it takes, where's my statistic? It takes 11 seconds. Where did it go? Okay. On average, we are distracted every 3 minutes. And it takes 11 minutes to regain attention. So if you do the math on that, every 3 minutes you're being distracted, and then it takes 11 minutes to gain your attention back. You're never actually getting fully in the zone. So part of avoiding that, addiction to novelty and that distraction is turning off your notifications. And guys, I've done this over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's the most amazing thing. So I've told people before, I have an issue with my Facebook inbox. It causes anxiety, because I'm I know that there are messages there that I need to answer, but I don't have the time to answer them. And I'll even check I'll try to screen my thing to is there anything important that I need to be getting to right now? A few weeks ago, I just completely turned off my Facebook notifications. It does not pop up on my screen. It does not go on the banner on top when I'm trying to text message my husband or whatever. Nothing pops up. And then 2 times a day, I get on my computer, I answer my messages, and then I shut my laptop and I go to bed. And guess what? For 2 weeks, I've been caught up on my Facebook messages. And I typically carry at least probably 150 to 200 unread messages on any given day. And I have them all cleared out, and I'm not stressed because the notifications are off, and I just set my time where I'm going to be productive and do my messages and be done. Okay. What's my number 3 point? Sorry, guys, I'm flipping back and forth. Okay, my last point on novelty is the most important human discipline involved in long-term success is the ability to forego immediate gratification for a longer but delayed reward. So delayed gratification, it is the biggest determining factor in long-term success. So if you can, you know, we're wired, we're programmed to take the easiest route and to look for the shortcuts and to do whatever's easy, not what's important. Whatever's in front of us, our Facebook notifications, that comment on your post, instead of the follow-up that you're supposed to be doing, or, you know, X, Y, and Z, fill in the blank, income producing activity. It's so much easier to do what's easy and in front of you and fun, like checking social media, instead of doing what you are supposed to be doing. So you have to flex that muscle. You have to get good at delaying your gratification. So I like to make it into a game like that, like with the messages, turning off the notifications and whatnot. So, you know, I set 2 times a day where I'm going to check my messages, and one's in midday, and the other one is after I put the boys to bed, but before I do winding down time. I'm not checking my messages until it's bedtime. I'm checking my messages from 8 to 8:30, and then the laptop gets shut. And so I basically give myself a chocolate chip cookie as an incentive. I say, okay, when I get through my income producing activity or whatever it is, when I get through doing my messages, then I get to go sit on the couch and unwind for 30 minutes with my husband. So I'm incentivizing myself to give, you know, to get that income producing activity done, and not be distracted. Because if I waste my time and go on to Facebook instead of, you know, checking my messages or responding to messages, then I've wasted my time and I don't get the fun stuff. Okay. Last one so that we can be done with this one. The third addiction that is ruining your productivity is the addiction to being busy. And being busy is not being productive. Being busy means you're doing a lot of stuff, but you're accomplishing very little. So it kind of goes back to the first thing, wanting to be wanted. Being busy feels really important. It feels like we're validated when you're rushing from, you know, work to Sally's ballet to Billy's soccer to that, so on and so forth. And you're just moving, but not ever really doing anything. You feel really, really important. Like there's a demand on your time, and it feels great. Now, for whatever reason, we're obsessed with racing around in this country. And we have this addiction to urgency, to feeling like, oh, I have to get here and oh, I have to get there. So don't mistake rushing for results, and don't mistake movement for achievement. Because you can be moving and rushing, but you're not actually doing what's important. Activity. And what I want to kind of leave you with is, sorry guys, I'm trying to focus. I'm going to give you two practical applications here. One, if you're on Steph's Plexus Gems, you guys can go back, or I'll repost it maybe after we jump off of here. But I posted a picture maybe last week or two of a sheet on this notebook. So it's kind of bigger, little piece. You could just grab a notebook. And what I've been doing every morning before the boys wake up, 3 gratitudes, because we were talking about that with Mindset November, or New Mindset November. So at the top, I do 3 gratitudes for the day. And then I literally write all these out in this order, because you got to start with a gratitude. 3 gratitudes for the day. And then I do, I've been rewriting my goals every single day, and it has changed things. I was adamant about doing monthly goals. Like I write my goals at the beginning of the month and I look at them all the time. But I will tell you, writing your goals every single day changes things, because you're refocusing every day. So you write your top 3 goals or 4 goals, and right next to them, the action that day that you're going to take to take one step closer to that goal. So my first goal is Plexus Diamond. And then I write the income producing activity that I'm doing that day, today, right next to it. And then I write down 3 things by noon. So whatever those 3 things by noon. And the first one is the income producing activity that I already wrote for Diamond. And, you know, those 3 things. And then you can list out everything to do underneath that. But it focuses your attention in the beginning of the day. And then, you know, I have to get these 3 things done. You're in a positive mindset because you've written your gratitude, you've refocused on your goals, and it doesn't matter what happened yesterday, and it doesn't matter what's going to happen today when, you know, all hell breaks loose and the boys wake up, but you have your focus for the day and your intention. And then The other practical application I want to leave you with is a suggestion from Darren Hardy that has been really awesome. So especially once I've set those intentions with that sheet, I use that. I pick out whatever one thing I'm going to do today, where he calls it either airplane time or like a jam session. I like calling it jam session. But so you guys think about like when you travel, I've gotten to travel more since being with Plexus than ever. And I love being on the airplane because there is no connection to Wi-Fi. I'm not going to pay for Boingo. It's stupid. I don't need to scroll on Facebook because I'm on an airplane and I brought 7 books that I'm probably not going to open, but I should read at least one of them, right? So you have to schedule that airplane time where the rest of the world cannot reach you. You can completely focus because, there's no distractions. There's no one talking to you. It's quiet and whatnot. So you have to recreate that time for yourself. Create like a bubble of silence where, if that's sitting in your car in the driveway because nobody knows you're home yet, that's where you do it. If that's, going in your closet, you guys seen me make videos or do things in my closet before, you go in the closet and shut the door because the kids can't find you. Whatever it is, go someplace, lock the door. I've been doing this and I just go on YouTube and search concentration music and turn it on. It's just certain sound waves and whatever. It's really calming and it gets your brain in the right position. And you focus on one thing for 90 minutes. And when you do it the first time, it's like, holy crap, I worked for 5 minutes. Are we done yet? Like, I was so focused for 5 minutes. And then you have 80-something minutes left, 85 minutes left. But really set a goal and intention that you're going to do 90 minutes of airplane time one time this week. You don't have to do it every single day. You can work your way up to it. It's addicting because it feels really good because you will be amazed at what you can get done in 90 minutes. Guys, you could work your Plexus business like one day a week, probably. Like really, if you were super, I'm not suggesting that, but you could, because I bet you don't spend 90 focused minutes in any given week on Plexus. You probably spend 2 minutes here and then you get distracted. And I'm only saying this is me. You get 2 minutes here and then you check your Facebook messages and then you're trying to do your follow-up and somebody else messages you and whatever. So if you spent 90 minutes and say, I'm going to do all of my follow-up and then I'm going to make all of my social media posts, prepare them for this week in your 90 minutes. You could do that and probably more in 90 minutes and be ready to go. And then you're not scattered and distracted and wasting your time all week. So I probably took more time than I was supposed to. Excuse me. But I hope that was helpful, and I can't wait to do more of the Darren Hardy stuff and share it all with you guys because there's so much I wanted to share.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I love Darren Hardy. He is so amazing.
So good.
Such good practical stuff. I'm going to go over 2 points really quick, and then I will pass it on to Amber. Okay, mine are going to be very fast, so don't expect anything deep or, mind-boggling because you've heard it all before. But as a leader, you must be honest. And this is 2 layers here. First of all, you want to be above reproach when it comes to your business. This means that you are doing what is best for your customer, what is best for your ambassadors, before what is best for you. So what does that look like? I have found that when I am unselfish in my business soars. And what I mean by that is if I know that a rank is coming or even if it's not, I know my people's goals. I know my level ones and what their plan is. And I am following up with them and doing what I can to help them rank. By doing that, it automatically, first of all, takes my focus off of me and puts it on them. But I succeed as well. I always write my own goals. That is the first thing I do at the beginning of every month, but then my second step and the step I do the rest of the month is follow up with my people who are really trying to rank. So I'm asking you, who is trying to get to silver on your team? Who is close to gold? I have a little leaderboard that I follow, and I go through these people to find out where did they end last month, where do they need to go to get to their next goal the next month or whatever they need to do. And I'm constantly trying to check in and make sure that they're accomplishing what they want to do. And this means also with your wholesale ambassadors and your customers. This just goes along with follow-up. But let's talk about the second part of honesty, and that is there will be times where you will have someone that maybe does not need all of the products, maybe does not, and I really am very, very big on you only offer exactly what that person needs, and whether it benefits you or not. So there are times when there are some people that need to stay customers, and there are some people that would be awesome as wholesale ambassadors, and that's okay. You need to know the difference, and by now you should know. But at the same time, I'm not going to push triplex on somebody who does not need it. So that's just my thing and how I handle my business with try to with integrity and honesty, and try to be above reproach. I know I fail a lot, but it is my goal to have my business that has been given to me by God as a gift. So I want to treat it such that it is precious, and so I want to lead with integrity. Okay, the second thing, or maybe it's third now, I don't know, but you've got to be honest with yourself. If you are not growing the way you should be growing, or you think you should be growing, you got to turn the mirror back on you and look and see, what are you not doing? You need to be honest. If you want to add 3 new people to your team every month and it's not happening, how many people are you reaching out to? Because everybody's ratio is different. You may need to talk to 20 people before you can get to 1. And if you're talking to the same 3 people, I'm just waiting for the same 3 over and over. You got to be real with yourself. Maybe you've gotten an automatic pilot and you're just like doing these copy and paste. Oh, that was a great post. Let's repost that. Oh, done for the day. You guys, this business is so much more than that. You've got to go deeper. You've got to be honest with yourself. And what I really like about this too is if you get constructive criticism from someone else, this is when you look at it and go, okay, is this true constructive criticism or not? And if you are not sure, then ask a power partner. This is what my upline said, or this is what somebody said that I need to do. What do you think? So I think that we can be truly honest with ourselves, and that can be really hard. But what I love about this is you grow through this. And this leads me to the second thing I'm talking about, which is that as a leader, you are self-developing. You are going to be teaching and training others. And you've got to do that for yourself first, which if you can self-reflect and you can have constructive criticism, that first word, guys, is so important. Nobody likes to be criticized because then we beat ourselves up. But if it is constructive, there's no beat up there. It's failing forward. So one of the next steps then, as we talk about over and over and over, is self-development. I don't care if you don't like to read a book. Read a book. Take notes. If you are better with audio, then find your 20 minutes that you determine you're going to listen to an audio for 20 minutes and take notes. You have got to be and figure out, you know where you need help. Are you not influencing people? Are you talking to 100 plus people and everybody's saying no? Okay, then you need to work on influence. Are you trying to lead your team and nobody's following? Okay, then you need to work on leadership skills. Are you bogged down in the devil telling you that you should be fearful and prideful and all these things, and you're listening to his words instead of God's words? Then, you need some help on mindset. So figure out what you need and self-develop in that way. Next thing, in that you want to be your very best self. I am really, really big on building your business on your strengths. If your strengths are, product knowledge and that kind of thing, then build a business around that. If your strength is talking to people one-on-one, but not in social media influence, you don't have a big social media influence, but you have a really big influence when you talk to people one-on-one, then make more coffee dates. You know, that is really, really important. But at the same time, we also still need to hone all those other things so that we can be a very well-rounded Plexus ambassador. Does not mean you have to be great at everything. At all. It does not mean that. I am terrible at organization. I get the very minimal amount done when it comes to organization, but I do have it done minimally. Do you know what I mean? So even though I've built my business on vision and inspiration and motivation, I know my weakness is organization. And so I'm trying. I have a planner sitting here on the table. Now notice it's empty, but it is sitting on the table. And there's even a blue and green and pink pen next to it. So there's an attempt there, guys. Okay, last thing. If you are not good at something, you've got to practice it to get better. Whether this means you are learning to do an opportunity event on your own, and so you ask a family member if you can sit down and tell them about our products. If you were to work on a 30-second video and you just do it over and over and over on your phone to do your 30-second elevator speech, if you put yourself out in places where you've got business cards in your back pocket so that you can talk to people and forcing yourself through that fear or through whatever that's how you become excellent at the things that you struggle with the most. I really like the whole, hey, I was hoping you could help me. I have got to teach my team this next week, and I'm so nervous. Will you just listen to me go through this little spiel real quick, this script or whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't have to be somebody who's in Plexus. In fact, even better if it's not, and go over the compensation plan and go over the products or whatever. You guys, people want to help you. And this is a great way to get people on board too, is getting your point across. So, okay, so that is all I have. Constantly, you've got it. You're going to have to train your people. You have, as a leader now, this is it. I mean, even though 80% of your time as a gold, senior gold, and ruby should be in your own personal business building, that other 20% is going to become 25, 30, 40 as you get to jewel status, where you are training and teaching. You've got to get comfortable doing that because your people need to see you lead. And you lead gently, and you lead with love, and you love where people are at. So anyway, okay, I'm done. Amber, you.
Okay, thank you, Erin. That was awesome. It's funny you say that about organization because that's what I'm going to be talking about. And my first one I want you guys really to hear is we do need to be organized to an extent, and it's really more about self-discipline. And so I'm a funny one to talk about organization because I'm a weird combination of OCD and just a disaster. So I'm sitting here at this meeting and I have my goals and I have my things over here on my desk. And there is one little, what are these called? I don't know, little Post-it note thing. One little Post-it note that doesn't quite line up with the rest and is driving me crazy. And yet the rest of my office is just like a disaster. So I like everything to be say, I can't even handle it. Like I just let it go. So, but some things I think are super important about being organized in Plexus is these DMOs. And I don't really know who came up with them. I always give credit to Stephanie and Janelle because they're the ones that introduced them to me. But these DMOs are so important for us to do. And then we need to be teaching our teams to do them because they're so simple. Like if you pick up the DMO that's in our monthly training that we're doing, if you guys don't know that we do a monthly GoPro training for all the newbies, I really encourage you guys to get your newbies on there because it's a great training. So anyways, we download that every single month, and it's very, very basic about what you're going to be doing that day. You're just I think there's something about physically writing out what you're going to do. So use those DMOs to keep you organized. It's very, very simple and a way that you're going to stay on track and a good example to your team. I'm also a really big believer on setting business hours. I don't think that looks like what people maybe think it looks like, because when I was working full-time, going to school full-time, some people it's going to be every time you pull into the driveway, let everybody go in and spend 5 minutes working your business in the car by yourself. So I don't mean that you have to have 2 to 4, 2 to 6 business hours, but you need to plan ahead about when you're going to be working your business. Because for me, when I don't do that, my day will go by, and yeah, I've checked things here, I loved what Stephanie said about, man, like how much we get distracted. I was totally checking my Facebook as she was telling me to turn off my notifications. So I have a long ways to go with that. But yeah, we get so easily distracted that if we don't plan to be successful, I know, Stephanie, it was terrible. I caught myself. You're like saying it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so if we don't plan when we're going to work, the day can get by us. You guys have got to go read that book that Autumn was talking about, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. He says in that book how he did an experiment. He did a stopwatch for every time he was doing income producing activity, and he would start it and he would stop it whenever he would do income producing activity. He worked a 16-hour day, and it ended up being like 20 minutes that he actually got work done. Everything else was distractions, was things that were not important of his time. So the DMO, setting your hours, I'm a big believer on delegating. And so as golds now and above, I think that some of the things that we are doing, we can delegate to our team to help them grow in the business as well. And I try to do that. It's really, really hard for people who are like control freaks, which I love that quote Stephanie did as well about you can have control or growth, but you can't have both. That got me as well. You cannot have complete control. Those stupid graphics that you see all the time, I swore I was the best graphic maker in the world. I just thought, oh man, I have to do every single graphic that ever comes. But now I have delegated that to someone. And the first couple, she was fabulous at it. But I swore, I was like, man, I would have put that a little bit to the right. I would have put that a little bit to the left. Man, I wish that font was bigger. Oh my goodness, a waste of your time. And so if you have people you can delegate to, and maybe that means more delegation to your husband with the house. Maybe it means more delegation to your kids with things. So delegation of stuff you don't need to be doing so that you can focus more on your business. Work smarter, not harder. You know, we have a lot of great trainings. My husband is the mail master. Yes, that's awesome. We have a lot of great trainings. So one way that we have gotten organized is we used to, Stephanie, Janelle, Sarah, me, Erin, Autumn, we used to all do our own trainings all over the place, and now we have gotten organized and we have centralized. We are called Diamond Leaders. If you guys didn't know, we're the Diamond Leaders, and we have centralized our training so that you know every Tuesday there's going to be a training. The first Sunday of every month, I'm thinking about changing the second Sunday, there's an opportunity meeting. We have an online opportunity. We have the Unwrapped. So we have gotten organized to help you guys. So if you know that there is a online opportunity meeting coming up, yes, I do think it's important to be in front of your teams, but if you're working harder and smarter, promote that one. Ask if you can do a newbie training for everybody, or, promote these big events. And if you're on there, or maybe invite some of your team over so that you can all be there together and be part of these bigger trainings and support those. It can bring just as much community promoting those bigger meetings and those bigger trainings than if you were to even do them yourselves. I personally think that as a goal, you should be doing like fun stuff with your teams. You should be doing community with your teams, maybe a book club, and then you can promote these bigger trainings. A big thing about organization is you have to learn to say no. The reason that I get unorganized sometimes is because I am trying to say yes to everybody. So you have got to learn to say no. It's so good to start now as a gold, senior gold ruby. If you get to emerald and you don't know how to say no, you are just going to be completely overwhelmed. I swore I went into like some sort of mental breakdown when I went Emerald, because I felt so overwhelmed with all the demands. And I felt like I had created that for me because of my controllingness, because of, not wanting to let things go, not wanting to delegate, not wanting to work smarter. Instead, I felt like I couldn't do it all. And so you've got to learn to say no to things that aren't important and yes to the things that you do well. So it goes with self-discipline. So if we are organized, it's going to be so much easier to be self-disciplined. You hear it all the time that you are the CEO of your business. So you have to be nobody is going to make you work your business. We can encourage, but nobody is going to fire you if you're not doing well in this company. Nobody is going to, demote you or anything like that. Instead, you're just not going to do as well. Like, you're not going to do as well in this business. And that is all you. Like, you are responsible for this business. How hard you work is how far you can go. How far you improve yourself is how far you can go. And so to be self-disciplined, if you set those organizational things in place, then it's going to be easier to get up and be like, this is my hour of working today. This is my time that I do this. So if you get organized, I was just saying that I have been derailed in this and being self-disciplined by others around me, and that was all on me. So if there was a time where I wasn't seeing productivity in my downline or something with my own activity, it is because I let other people's opinions discourage me, or let other people's opinions just make me less productive, and that is completely on me. That is on no one else except for how I allow those things to affect me. So we got to be self-disciplined and get up in the morning and be the CEO of your business every single day, and you're going to do so much better. So the next one is I'm actually really passionate about. It's about showing support to your upline, your downline, and the company. That's totally different than what we were just talking about, but that's my next one that I had. We kind of took them out of order. But showing support to your upline. Okay, so I have an amazing upline. Pat has been amazing from the beginning, and honestly, I didn't know her when I started Plexus. And so I see a couple things that I did wrong when I first started. Was I had Erin, who was a really good friend, and so we just went and did our own thing. And Pat was there encouraging. Pat was there, like, willing to help, but we really steered off and did our own thing. So I think I could have taken more from Pat in the beginning. I could have accepted her help more in the beginning. So I think people either, one, completely shun their upline, which I don't think I shunned her, but I think I could have drawn more from her. So I think people either shun their upline and say, I don't say this about Pat, but I've seen it happen. You have nothing to offer me. I'm going to do it myself. I see it all the time where there's these people who are an amazing upline and have amazing things, and they go over them to other people. It's like they have something to prove that they don't need their upline. I either see that, or I see they depend way too much on their upline and they blame everything on their upline. And so I did a video when I first started Plexus saying, say goodbye to your upline. And I had said how Pat is amazing. She does so much for me. She does training, but I am not going to depend on her to grow my business. I am never going to blame Pat. I'm not going to blame Sarah or Stephanie or Erica or Janelle. I will not blame any of my upline for what is happening in my business. So, and I see it all the time saying, oh, and honestly, I see it to myself, my downline coming to me and saying, well, if you would do this more, if you would do this more, if you could do this, if you would be this, then my business would be succeeding. And a lot of times I'll take that and I'll think, okay, is this true? Do I need to be doing this? But it will come down to the fact that we take responsibility for our own business. No, like, I am doing what I can, and I know I can improve and improve, but it is all on you guys. Your business is all on you. And although you want to be a good upline, don't depend on your upline for your business. Okay, so then your downline. This is another thing. So even though we're not depending on our upline, but we want to accept anything they give us, your downline is not responsible for your business. I do not like when I hear people talking bad about their downline. I recently got passed by Erin, right? Like, I'm an emerald, she's a sapphire. And both of my lines, both of my outside legs, I have two really amazing outside legs of Erin. Both of them came to me and said, man, Amber, I'm sorry that we haven't gotten you to sapphire. And I was like, are you kidding me? It is not, first of all, I should not just have two strong legs outside of Erin. I should have tons of strong legs outside of Erin. So it is not those two legs' responsibility for me to go sapphire. It is my responsibility to get more people outside my leg. It has nothing to do with Kathy. She is rocking her business. It has nothing to do with Christy. She's rocking her business. But I need to do what I need to do to get to sapphire. So do not ever, ever blame your downline. If you feel like your downline is not working for you, if you feel like your downline doesn't want the business, that's something you have to take responsibility for. What are you doing that you can do better to support them? Or you need to find more people who do want it. So either it's your own lack of leadership that is causing this dynamic on your team, or you need to find people who want the business. So either way, it comes down to you. It comes down to me. I need to find more people who want this business, and so I can get to sapphire. I need to lead my team better to get to sapphire. So it's all you personally taking responsibility. And then the company. This is something I learned, I think, at Emerald. And man, it hits you hard when you turn Emerald. You realize that you have got to stay positive about this company, to your team, to other people around you. I saw such a good example of this with Leaders Retreat. So Leaders Retreat, people earned going to the Gaylord, right? So we earned the going to the Gaylord. But what happened was Plexus had let more people in that would have made it. They wouldn't have got to go at all. And so they ended up getting different rooms. They weren't at the Gaylord, they were at different rooms. This caused an uproar like you wouldn't believe. Very, very disappointed people. And I totally understood their disappointment. So, and the Jewel thread that we were on, we were talking about it. We are disappointed, like they need to tell us or not. And Melissa came on and said, and reminded us, you know what, guys? None of these people would have been able to go if Plexus wasn't generous enough, to extend it further. And so I was able to tell that to my downline. And I admit that I had some words of, oh man, this is not good stuff. But our roles as leaders is to uplift our company. And it's not false. Like, our company is amazing. So when things go wrong, like this promotion, if people didn't get that promotion, I say to them, I know that Plexus is going to make this right. I totally understand where you're coming from, but I know that Plexus will make this right. And I believe that they will make this right for you. I believe in their integrity. So we need to be the biggest cheerleaders of our company, because negativity can be like a virus on our team. If we are breeding negativity, then the people underneath us will be negative, and they will, I mean, it is just like customer service 101. Like, you do not dog out your company. Like, you need to be the support of your company. So that is something I've really learned as Emerald, is to stay positive about your company. And luckily we have one that is deserving of it. So that's all I have. Janelle, are you up next?
Do you want me to go, or Sarah, do you want to go?
Oh, I'd like to go.
Okay, go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, we're going to talk about two things: control and integrity. So two separate issues. So control, really what I want to talk about is mental attitude, being in control. As a leader, you need to maintain not a relaxed mental attitude. So when I say relaxed, I mean as in calm, cool, and collected. Not flying off the handle, you know, when something doesn't quite go right. Because what we need to do is, if we're staying calm, we're keeping in our mental attitude, then this makes our job easier, and our downline will respect us more, because it's a sense of control and mastery, professionalism in everything that we're doing. So when people respect you, you're going to become more influential, and that's what really leadership is all about. And you can read John Maxwell goes over this about influence and leadership. And so when we're in control, you know, some days we might be a little grumpy. And you know what? Carrie Wilkerson talked to us about this in Hawaii. She said, you know what? Some days you just need to stay off of social media. You know, if you wake up and you got a little bit of an attitude and you just feel like people are going to be under your skin, you know, maybe that's a good day to put up your post, stay away, you know, and not go to those people that you know might hit your triggers. We just have to learn to be professional. And this is just in life in general. So as you're being a leader, that way, once you're practicing these things, you don't have to keep telling yourself at those moments where you're trying to keep your issues under control. If you practice it more, then it becomes more natural. So, you know, sometimes there's we do things, we'll get information from corporate, something will happen, or some kind of an email comes out, just like what Amber was saying with the email about the hotels and leaders retreat. Now, you can handle that two ways. You can fly up the handle, you can go to your Facebook group and you can start posting, I can't believe, you know, oh, I can't believe this. Or you can just say, okay, step back. Let's think about this. Let's think about why this is happening. There must be a good reason. We know that Plexus is a great company. We know they love us. We know they do the best they can. So let's stop and think that maybe there's a reason. And then we can react from there. And that way our teams know that, okay, they're going to mirror what they see. They're going to, whatever their action is that you're doing, they're going to see that's the way they handle it. And we have a little saying, and if you know who Sarah Marble is, and Sarah Marble is very classy. And we've seen her on Jewel panels before or at meetings, and she is always classy, always professional. And if somebody's droning on about something on a Jewel panel, you'll see that she keeps class, and we call it Sarah Marble it. So when you rock it, that's basically what we're saying, Sarah Marble it. So just think about that. Think about you're going to be a YouTube sensation. You're going to be a celebrity. You're already a celebrity. Wherever you are, if you're gold and above, you already have people looking at you and watching you. And so you want to Sarah Marble it. You want to be classy. All right. Staying calm, cool, and collected. You know, we're in it for the long run, talking about Darren Hardy and the roller coaster. That's really, that book is so good, and the advice is so good. On a roller coaster, you're going up and you're going down, you're up and down. You know, and if we could just minimize those ups and downs, the road that we're taking is just going to be so much better. Just really, really so much better. You are into it for the long run. And so we're moving now into integrity. And I really think this goes hand in hand. Integrity, you know, good, the definition, good, a state of being whole, a good character. We all know, you know, and that our beliefs and our personal values, that's all integrity. And I think that part of our integrity is this wholeness is that we're buying into Plexus. When we said yes to Plexus and we got our first ambassador, we signed on and we are here to stay. And this is the long road, that whole roller coaster thing. You signed up, you're here, and that's the integrity. And the integrity is that you don't lie, you don't cheat, but you don't give up. So you were all in and you are here to lead. This is really, again, your image is back. Your image is what we think we are. John Maxwell says this. Image is what we think we are. Integrity is what we really are. And again, John Maxwell, integrity, leadership, this all goes hand in hand. And why this is important, we have to say, we don't even really have to think about integrity. Most of us do what's right, or because we've been brought up that way. And I really haven't met anyone that I haven't thought that in Plexus that I haven't thought has a high degree of integrity. I think we actually we attract people with high integrity, and that's really when you're looking for teammates and you find someone and you think, hey, they're good, honest, good people. That's what we're looking for, and those are the people that you want on your team. And by being that person, you will attract those people. So, and both of those, the controlling your attitude, your mental attitude, sticking with it, being classy, and your integrity, those are all, you be that, and you will attract those people to your team. Okay, Janelle.
All right. Well, guys, you have heard amazing nuggets from all of our jewels. And so I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to be short and sweet. And so before I give you my point, I want you to visualize just this picture really quick. So people that know me know that I don't like animals. I don't like dogs. My daughter is obsessed with dogs and cats. I don't like them. But when I was a child, we actually had a golden retriever, amazing dog, the best dog. And so one of the things I did when we had a dog is I used to play tug of war with him. We had this like knotted rope. I don't know what it's called, but he would take it and I would take it and I would, pull on it and he would grip on it and he would not let go. No matter how hard I would yank it, he would not let go. And even when I would let go, he wasn't letting go. So I want you to take that picture. And if you're taking notes, I want you to write down tenacious will. As an ambassador and as a leader, you need to have tenacious will in your business. Tenacious is defined as taking a firm hold of something, clinging to something, adhering to it, not readily relinquishing it, being determined, being persistent, not easily dispelled. And you need to have that in this business. Because here's the thing. We're in this for the long haul. And life happens. If it hasn't already happened to you in your journey, it's going to happen to you. In our leaders group alone, I know there are people that have gone through cancer treatments, people that have lost their mom, people that have been balancing multiple jobs, ministry and jobs, Kristen's holding her baby over there. It's not easy. Life happens and we're on this journey for the long haul. So what happens when life happens? You can't just give up. You've got to look at your goal and hold on to it with tenacious will, like a dog would to a tug of war rope. So when we have obstacles, think of them like rocks or boulders. Some obstacles may be like a pebble, easy peasy, we get through it. Some may be like a huge boulder. And it's real, not trying to dismiss that it's easy or, just get over it, just push through. You've got to push through sometimes, right? And sometimes that pushing is hard. And sometimes it makes you cry. And sometimes it takes a long time, way longer than you want it to. But you still keep pushing and you still keep pushing forward. And don't look around because the person next to you may have the same boulder, but maybe they just worked out for 2 years and you haven't worked out. So it takes you longer to push the boulder. We can't look at someone else's situation, even if you say, oh, they have 3 kids and I have 3 kids and they're the same age and I should be where they're at. You just don't know. You don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Comparing yourself is such a thief of joy. It's such a thief to your journey. And you just don't know what God is doing in their life. And you don't know what God is doing in your life. So whatever that obstacle looks like for you, you've got to keep pushing forward. For me, I've been pregnant. I've had my very first baby. I had a newborn. I have a toddler. It ain't easy, guys. I'm thankful for the journey. So thankful. Because I wouldn't have it any other way. But I've got to push, and I have to push hard every single day. So whatever that thing comes up in your way, in your path, keep pushing forward. Because the thing is, with Plexus, as you've heard, This is legit money, you guys. We're not talking about 20 bucks. We're not talking about maybe even $100 bucks. You know the comp plan. We're talking thousands of dollars to get to whatever your next rank is, to get to gold. That's huge. That's a lot of money. To get to senior gold, to get to ruby, then to get to jewel status, that's huge. So it shouldn't be easy, right? No other profession would you expect, I'll just snap my fingers and work a little here and there and I'll just get that $1,000 bonus next month. You would never expect that. So be okay with it being hard. Be okay with pushing forward. Be okay with having tenacity towards your goal. And as a leader, as you're tenacious towards your goal, it enables your downline to have tenacity towards their goal as well. So remember why you're doing what you're doing, whatever that is. So if your next goal is senior goal, why? Why does senior gold matter to you? What does senior gold mean to you and your family? Does that mean maybe you could move out of the bad neighborhood you live in? Or does that mean maybe you won't have to do daycare anymore and you get to stay home? Or whatever it is, whatever that means for you, remember the reason you're doing it. Remember that picture, that dream that you painted, and you cling to that with tenacity and you don't let go of it. Even if it takes you 2 times as long, 5 times as long, however long it takes you, you cling to it. I'm like watching Kristen and I want to cry because I feel you, girl. It's hard. It is hard to do this, juggling what you're juggling. I'm looking at Kristen. I'm about to cry, but it's because I'm a yellow and I'm a feeler like that. But I just want to encourage you. Yeah, it's not supposed to be easy. This whole like work at home gig, it's not always easy, but it's worth it. And so I just want to encourage you, have that tenacious will, have that picture of the dog in your mind. No matter what it takes, you're going to push through, push that pebble, push that boulder forward, and you're going to get there. And look around at your team. Who else has that tenacious will? And grab them by the hand and go forward with them. If it's a sideline, do it with your sideline. If it's someone in your downline, do it with your downline. Maybe your downline doesn't have that tenacious will yet. Maybe they don't have the information that's given them that vision for it. Maybe they don't have the inspiration. Maybe they just never will get there. But look for those people that have that and run with them. So I'm short and sweet, but cling to it, guys, because it's worth it. We can do it, and we're going to do it together, all of you that have committed with tenacious will to get there. So that's all I have.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like we need to do a standing ovation for Janelle.
Seriously.
Standing ovation.
Oh,
And I nursed a baby to sleep.
oh yes. Awesome. Well, you guys all have a good night. I'll put up the recording in our leaders group in a little while. And thank you, leaders, for sharing. Thank you, everybody else, for being on. Have a great night.